I think the reason I wanted to be a band was a little bit accidental. I think my dad was sort of a rocker sort of thing. He was into a lot of music back in the day, and kind of I grew up listening to some kind of different stuff to the norm. And my mum was a kind of a performer as well. I think it sort of accidentally came together, but I've sort of found metal and hardcore and stuff like that, and then sort of just started up a garage band when I was 16, and since then it's something that I've always wanted to do. It was actually, Whilst You Sleep started playing in local venues around the Yorkshire area, them being from Sheffield and myself being from Doncaster. We were both playing in different local bands, and we sort of accidentally sort of met up at a venue in Doncaster, and they supported my band, and they were really young and really quite riffy at the time, which was sort of something that my band at the time was doing. And as soon as I heard the songs, I was like, these guys are young and they're sort of ripping it up. And that was sort of when I noticed them. And then just after a few years of being friends, I just realised that they were a really decent band and really talented, cool guys really. And so when my band split up, I kind of always wanted to be a part of it. God knows is the answer to that. I've always been a person that likes, that gets sort of job satisfaction out of helping other people, and I worked alongside young adults with autism and things like that, so I'd probably be doing something in the line of work where I could help someone else's quality of life be better in some way. Yeah, I think when you've put work and effort into anything, that you're always a bit reserved to what people's reactions are going to be to something that you've produced. It's something quite personal to you. So I think there's always a bit of that, are people going to like it, and how is it going to be perceived? But I think at the end of the day, you need to sort of, in music, I think you need to write for yourselves and not think too widely about what other people are going to think of it. I've thought that about probably 10 times in the touring schedule. There was times where we've had no fuel, been completely broken down, as people may have seen from our sort of video documentary sort of pieces that we've brought out. But there's definitely been a lot of times where I've been like, how is this going to pan out for us? Like, are we actually going to make the show, make it home? You know, so definitely. I think there's been a couple of times where I've really felt quite took back by emotions on stage. There was one time recently where we were celebrating the anniversary of a time, something that happened to the band, and the song Our Courage, Our Cancer basically sums that time up. And as I said, it was the anniversary recently of that, and it really took me back, being away from home and playing that song. But also, From the North Stands for Nothing, there's a song called The Truth, and that's about basically my experience growing up and me saying thank you to my mother for being really strong back in the day. And when she turned up at one of the shows one time and we broke down into that song, it's basically just a bit of backing track and me just telling it how it is. And then that was another time when I was really sort of like, ooh, that kind of does ring true. So those are the times. I think you'd be quite happy. I think there'd obviously be some regrets as well, but I think a 15-year-old me would be like, cool, like you've seen a little bit of the world, you're in a band, and that's what the 15-year-old me wanted to do as well. So I think you'd be very happy.